Hi everybody and welcome to the May Flower Club. It's delivery day, and with it being May, it can only be one flower this month, and that is the gorgeous peony. So I'm going to run you through what you have in your bunches, and then I'll show you an arrangement. So we have a couple of peony varieties. We have this gorgeous Moon over Barrington. Just look at all those gorgeous ruffles. This is a lovely sort of pale pink, and then it fades to white as it gets older. And also we have some coral sunset peonies. So you'll see kind of peonies come like this, bit like a drumstick, and then they turn into this. I mean, how gorgeous is that in terms of value for money and flowers. So a lot of peonies you will buy, probably not so much now because that we're well into the season, but at the beginning of the season they can be very tight and sometimes don't open. So a client of mine was saying to me the other day she bought some peonies from a market and not a single one of them opened. That could be a couple of reasons. It could be that they've been cut too early in the season, but it could also be that they still had the sap on them. So when peonies grow naturally, they have a sticky sap on the outside, and what that does is it attracts ants and insects, and they take all the stickiness off, and then that enables the flower to push through these green guard petals. So if you have got some peonies with a slightly sticky top, just give them a wipe over with some damp kitchen roll just to remove that stickiness. If they're still quite tight, you can pull these green guard petals back, and what that will do is it will then kind of make it easier for the flower petals to push through and push open. So and you can also, if they're really stubborn, you can put them in lukewarm water as well, and that will encourage them to open more quickly. But generally with peonies, if you put them in any bright spot or warm spot, they will open very quickly. So you have two types of peony in your bunches this month. And with peonies, because they are the star of the show, you really don't need a lot with them. So we've got some mixed foliages in here. We've got Italian ruscus, or soft ruscus as it's also called. These are nice long stems, the peonies and your foliage. So you have got the option of doing these in a tall vase, like I've got here, sort of a nice tall glass vase, or cut them shorter and do them in a shorter vase. So if you have a look on my Instagram, I popped a picture on last night of a peony vase that I've got at home, where I've done them very short. So as I've said sort of previously, my top tip in terms of how many vases to have, it's a question I often get asked. And I think really you can't go wrong by having a tall glass vase, a tall ceramic vase, and then a shorter glass vase and a shorter ceramic vase. And that will pretty much cover all eventualities and all types of arrangements. But as you know, I like to arrange with some vintage pots and unusual type vessels and things. Anything I can get flowers in, I will put flowers in. So today I'm going to be using this gorgeous vintage mantle vase. It's one of the larger style mantle vases, which you don't come across as much as the kind of the smaller ones, but it's just fantastic. It's really nice. It's pretty, it's not too imposing, and it's perfect for arrangements like this and also summer arrangements. So because we've got quite a big inside here, quite a bit of width, in order to give our stems some structure, I'm going to use a chicken wire egg, if you can call it an egg. It's not really an egg shape. So really all you need with this is just a length of chicken wire, and just to fold over the ends to attach it together. And this is a real old school way of arranging flowers pre sort of floral foam days, but is very popular again now, obviously, when we're trying to be more sustainable. And obviously with these, the galvanized wire is treated so you can use it again and again. So just give it a clean once your arrangement's gone over. Just soak it in some water and a bit of bleach or whatever, and you can use it again. So that's really all you need. It's very simple, no technical skills needed here. It will obviously hold itself together if you just hook the ends of the wires over, and then just squish it into the vase, push it down to the bottom so it comes up about halfway, I would say. And that gives us a nice grid that we can slot our flowers into. You could also use the tape grid method across the top and along to make a grid, but because this edge is quite uneven, I'm going with the chicken wire. So pop some water in with your flower food as well. So it's got flower food in it, and that will help keep everything fresher for longer. And let's get going. So I am standing this on my Lazy Susan, which are brilliant. It lets you see kind of if you've got any gaps and what's going on where, and when obviously I'm doing a demo, I can just spin round to show you what I'm doing. So I'm just going to angle the camera down a little bit. Apologies for the rubbish camera woman skills here, but you've got a better view now of exactly what I'm doing. So I'm going to start with my foliage. You've got some fascia leaves here, or Aurelios they're called. These are pretty huge, but I think they really add impact to an arrangement. And they've just got this gorgeous glossy green colour that will just make everything that goes against it pop. So I am going to pop this in here at the back. So this arrangement is going to be so that you could stand it, say, on a mantelpiece or against a wall. So most of my flowers are going to be front facing. With another one here, just going to cut that a little bit shorter than the other one. Nice 45-degree angle cut, as always. I'm going to slot that in that side. So we're slightly higher this side than we are that side, and nice and flat at the back. So if we're going against a wall, we're absolutely fine. Just going to bring it towards me again for a moment, just so that I can put some of my foliage in. I'm going to go quite tall with this. It's nice and wispy, so I'm just going to pop it in here. And obviously, because we've got the chicken wire in, this is going to stay exactly where we put it. So you haven't got to be holding anything or have, you know, 3 hands or anything like that. I'm going to cut this in half here so that I've got some shorter pieces to work with as well. And I'm just creating a nice soft edge around my vase. Come in at this end. So already we're creating a nice structure to put our flowers into, and I find sort of when doing flower arrangements and things, it's better to kind of have that structure in place first and get that shape, and then you can kind of fill it out with your gorgeous blooms. So anything that falls below the waterline we'll take the leaves off of. So I'm just popping these in, just really spreading them through. No sort of particular formality in terms of where they're going, but it's just giving us that nice outline shape. And you can see just from having what is really a relatively small container, when you use chicken wire, you can really kind of get impact and height and size. So if you are having a dinner party or an event or something like that, you can really make something real wow arrangement. I'm just going to bring this back up a little bit. Again, I'm sorry about my rubbish camera skills, but there we go. That's better. You can sort of see what I'm doing, and I can see better as well. So now I'm going to come in with some of my moon overbearing. So these just smell absolutely amazing, by the way. Strip these leaves off. They don't need to be there. They're not serving any purpose now. And pop this in here. So I've gone relatively low with that first one at the front. This vase doesn't look very pink in this video, but it is, and it's a lovely contrast, or not contrast, but a lovely tone with the peonies. So this second one, I'll take it a little bit higher. Oh, got a bit stuck there. And I'm going to take it over to the other side here. Find a little gap in my chicken wire. So we've got one at each end, and I'm going to then put one here in the middle. So again, strip these leaves off. You don't want anything that's going to fall below the water line to make the water dirty. Nice 45-degree cut. And then we've got that one there. Oh, in the middle. Who's trying to make a bid for freedom there. Come here, you. There we go. It's a bit unruly, this one. There we go. Okay. So I've kept some space around here. I think the peonies, as I say, are the stars, so I think they need to kind of have their own space. Obviously they will fill out, especially these ones. So I'm going to pop some of these through now. And whilst these are sort of a coral shade, they do add a lovely pop against the pink, or they will do when they open. But they then fade to a lovely cream, so you'll have that sort of pop of colour to start with, and then it will gradually fade out to the pastels, which I just think is lovely. Again, a lovely thing that you get with peonies, and not many other flowers. In fact, I can't actually think of any other flowers that do that. So these really are superstars. You tell they're my favourite flower. So I've just dotted the 3 through there, and then I'm going to bring this one into the middle. I'll take this one a bit lower, so pop him at the front here. And because I've got this wider vase, I am going to pop a bit more foliage through it, just to give it a bit more greenery and a bit more of a lush background. Obviously these will fill out, come open, and this will just look absolutely amazing. So I will post some pictures on. With your asparagus fern, you can just run that through, just let it do its thing, let it hang wherever it wants to hang. And again, it just adds a little bit of movement to the arrangement. So I will, as I say, pop some pictures on as these start to open, and you'll see kind of the real impact that that this type of arrangement can have. But from just a piece of chicken wire, you can really go for it with your arrangements and really make something, you know, quite spectacular. If you need more foliage, you know, you can just grab some from the garden, or some ivy or something like that if you're out and about walking the dog or whatever. So yeah, so that's this month's arrangement, a vintage mantle vase. As I said, I'll pop some photos on Instagram and Facebook as this starts to open and develop further. And I look forward to seeing what you do with your bunch this month. And if you're not a member of Flower Club, you can find out more information on my website, no8lifestyle.co.uk. But essentially payment comes out on the 10th of the month and you get your flowers delivered on the 3rd Thursday of the month. You manage your subscription, so you're not tied in for any length of time, and you can pause it if you're going on holiday or anything, for example. And you get access to my private Facebook group, which is just for Flower Club members, top tips, all that sort of thing. You also get advance notice on my workshops and 10% discount. So yeah, so as I say, more information on the website, and I shall catch up with you soon. Have a lovely day and a lovely rest of the week. Take care now. Bye bye.